When the 2023 ruling landed, it didn't just clear a path for Ripple, it reignited belief across the entire crypto world. For years, XRP had been a kind of cautionary tale. The coin that flew too close to the sun, got burned by regulators, and was left to drift while others thrived. But overnight, it went from blacklisted to reborn. Headlines screamed, "Ripple wins." Exchanges rushed to relist XRP, and holders who'd spent years in the trenches felt vindicated at last. For the first time in years, Ripple had room to breathe. The team wasn't celebrating, not yet, but they knew they'd outlasted one of the toughest regulatory fights in crypto history. Brad Garlinghouse appeared on CNBC the next morning, visibly relieved but still sharp. "This isn't the end," he said. "It's the beginning of the next phase. The industry needs clarity, and this is a step toward it." His message was simple. Ripple had survived, and it was still building. Behind the scenes, Ripple's focus shifted. The lawsuit had forced them to think bigger, beyond just banks, beyond just ODL. They started leaning into what the XRP ledger could become, a full-blown decentralized ecosystem. The company expanded into real-world asset tokenization, CBDC pilots, and DeFi infrastructure. They weren't just moving money anymore. They were building the rails for a multi-trillion-dollar digital economy. The XRP ledger, which most people associate only with cross-border payments, is quietly one of the most efficient and tested blockchains in existence. It's been running for over a decade without a major outage. Transactions are confirmed in 3 to 5 seconds. Fees are fractions of a penny. And because XRP can't be mined, its carbon footprint is nearly zero, a feature that now looks visionary in an era obsessed with sustainability. Governments began to notice. Ripple signed partnerships with the Republic of Palau to explore a national stablecoin, and with Bhutan for a CBDC test project. They started talking with central banks about how XRP's consensus system could underpin cross-border settlement networks. Quietly, Ripple was positioning itself to be the bridge for a world of fragmented digital currencies, a global translator for money. Meanwhile, analysts started coming back. In mid-2024, several institutional research firms, including Standard Chartered's Digital Assets Desk and Tokyo-based SBI Research, released reports calling XRP one of the most undervalued large-cap crypto assets. Their reasoning was simple. XRP's network already works, its fees are negligible, and its adoption curve is still early. One analyst from London summed it up perfectly. If crypto becomes the new financial plumbing, XRP might be the pipework underneath it. Of course, not everyone agrees. Skeptics still see Ripple as a corporate Trojan horse, arguing that its partnerships with banks contradict the spirit of decentralization. Others point to XRP's token supply, all 100 billion of them, and say it's too large to ever hit astronomical valuations. Some influencers on YouTube still claim XRP can't moon because Ripple holds too much of it. But that's only half the story. What skeptics often miss is that Ripple has been slowly releasing its holdings from escrow in a controlled, transparent schedule since 2017. Each month, 1 billion XRP are unlocked. But only a portion are ever sold, and the rest are relocked. That predictability is designed to stabilize supply, not flood the market. Ripple's defenders argue that this escrow mechanism makes XRP more structured than most altcoins, where inflation or new emissions can surprise investors at any time. Still, controversy remains part of Ripple's DNA. Every victory seems to come with a new wave of doubt. Even the 2023 court win triggered arguments across the industry about what partial clarity actually means. Some said the judge's reasoning set a precedent that could protect innovation. Others said it left too many gray areas. But while everyone debated, Ripple just kept building. By 2025, the crypto landscape looked very different from the world that birthed XRP. Bitcoin ETFs had become mainstream. Ethereum had gone through multiple upgrades. Solana was thriving on speed. And stablecoins had become the quiet giants of global payments. Amid that, XRP remained, not always in the headlines, but always in the conversation. It was proof that surviving mattered as much as innovating. Inside Ripple's offices, the team often says their biggest advantage isn't technology, it's endurance. Most crypto projects burn bright for a year or two, then vanish. Ripple has been around for more than a decade. It's faced technical challenges, community wars, lawsuits, bear markets, and still kept shipping code. That consistency has earned it something rare in crypto: trust from institutions and die-hard loyalty from its community. The XRP army, once dismissed as blind fanatics, turned out to be one of the most resilient online movements in crypto. They kept promoting, building, and defending XRP even when mainstream media wrote it off. Many of them had been holding since 2017, not because they expected instant riches, but because they believed XRP represented something bigger, a bridge between old money and new. In 2024 and beyond, Ripple started pushing deeper into utility. Projects emerged to bring real estate tokenization, carbon credits, and micropayments to the XRP ledger. Developers built decentralized exchanges, NFT marketplaces, and even sidechains to expand performance. Ripple also began experimenting with interoperability, connecting XRP to Ethereum and Bitcoin through wrapped assets and smart contracts. The ledger that once powered only payments was now a multi-purpose ecosystem. And that brings us to today. XRP trades in a range that, depending on when you're listening, probably looks modest compared to its 2018 high. But its story has never really been about price. It's about survival and purpose. Ripple's founders didn't set out to make another speculative asset. They set out to fix how money moves. And while the world didn't understand them at first, the need for what they built has only grown clearer. Just look at the global banking landscape. Cross-border payments still take days. Billions are lost in transaction fees every year. Developing nations are shut out of the global financial system because it's too expensive to connect. If you strip away the hype, that's the problem Ripple was always trying to solve. And despite everything, the criticism, the lawsuits, the bear markets, they're still solving it. Even now, some of Ripple's early team members have moved on. Jed McCaleb cashed out his remaining XRP and is focusing on space technology. David Schwartz remains Ripple's chief technology officer, continuing to upgrade the XRP ledger with new features. Chris Larson, once the quiet visionary behind the company's mission, now speaks publicly about digital identity and financial inclusion. The project has grown beyond any single personality. It's bigger than the people who started it. So, what's next for XRP? Analysts are split. Some believe its best days are behind it, that stable coins and central bank digital currencies will steal its use case. Others argue it's just getting started, that once global regulation catches up, assets like XRP will form the foundation of a new cross-border financial web. The truth, as always, probably lies somewhere in between. But here's what can't be denied. XRP was one of the first digital assets to prove that blockchain could have real-world utility. It showed that crypto could talk to banks, not just fight them. And it demonstrated that a project could be both profitable and purposeful, even while being hated, sued, and misunderstood. In a strange way, Ripple's journey mirrors crypto itself. Revolutionary, volatile, misunderstood, but unstoppable. The company that began with one man's dream of peer-to-peer trust in 2004 ended up shaping conversations in central banks, courtrooms, and governments around the world. And maybe that's the real legacy of XRP. It's not just about decentralization versus centralization. It's about connection, about proving that blockchain can bridge divides between nations, between institutions, and between the people and the systems that move their money. So whether you love it or hate it, XRP has already done something extraordinary. It refused to die. It took punches from every direction and kept getting back up. It's the cockroach of crypto. And I mean that as a compliment. Every time the world writes it off, it comes back with a new use case, a new partner, or a new reason to matter. As we move deeper into this next cycle, with global adoption accelerating, Ripple's vision of money moving like information doesn't sound radical anymore. It sounds inevitable. Banks are digitizing, nations are tokenizing, and somewhere in that shift, XRP, the coin that started as a rebel idea before Bitcoin was even a household word, is still quietly doing exactly what it was designed to do: move value, fast, cheap, and globally. And that's why, for all the memes and lawsuits and endless debates, the story of Ripple and XRP isn't finished. It's still being written every single day. So if you're holding XRP, or even just watching from the sidelines, remember, this isn't just a token. It's a testament. A reminder that in crypto, survival is victory. And for Ripple, that might be the biggest win of all. Thank you for listening, and as always, we'll see you at the top.